What's up, guys? My name is Jaden Fine with Big Time Baseball. I appreciate you watching this video. It's weird if you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, you should at Jaden Fine BTB. It's much more short form, kind of not meme style. I don't know what it's called, but it's shorter form, kind of chopped up, where I have a time limit so I can keep people's attention. Here, much better for me to go through full explanations. So hopefully you enjoy these types of videos. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions for other tips that you want to hear, or if you have any questions about your swing or drills that you need, drop them down below. I can talk about it in these long form YouTube segments. So I appreciate you watching this. Today we're going through the landing position and how to get to a proper landing position, what the landing position means. Very, very important. Arguably, if you get to arguably the landing position for me is one of the most, if not the most important part of the baseball swing. A good landing position can clean up a lot of mechanical issues and flaws. Whereas if you have an improper landing, or if you're not landing efficiently, that can create holes in your swing, that can create moves that aren't going to hinder your success in a game once you face a live pitcher. So for me, I don't care how hitters start, right? You can start up here. There's guys like Alex Verdugo, they take a nap back here. Guys like Trout are all hot. It does not matter. What does matter, and what's pretty objective, is that landing position. If you take 100 hitters and you pause them at their landing position, most of the time the guys are going to be somewhere around here, right? Heels in the ground, almost 50-50, butt back, chest forward, nod to the catcher. The two biggest things here, at least for me, really, I'll say three biggest things. Number one is nod to the catcher, right? That's obviously kind of a benchmark. So a little bit subjective there. There's guys like, Acuna Jr., who start up and down. And there's some guys like Trout who end up sort of, nod to the catcher. What you don't see a lot of are guys who are knob kind of over the plate in this position, or guys that get really, really high with their barrel. Now, if you land with that barrel back and that knob almost forward, pointing at your front foot, most of the time what I've seen from my hitters is that will cause a barrel dump, and a lot of guys will miss under and across the baseball. And it'll be hard for you to catch up to velocity up in the zone, or, it's going to be hard for you to hit spin, especially outer third. Whereas if guys are landing super high, they're going to run out of space, and they're going to have to get their hands down and across their head. They're going to get real steep, right? Kind of the same thing. If you're steep, you're not going to cover balls outer third. You're going to cut yourself off in your finish. You're going to work down and across your front hip. And even if you're either foul the ball off behind you or swing and miss, and even if you do barrel the baseball up, you're not going to have a ton of success with hard hit backspin balls opposite field side, or when you do hit it hard pull side, it's going to be on the ground or with topspin or foul, which is no fun. So that's the first thing, man. If you're in that position, that's a pretty solid spot. That's the most efficient place to fire from. From there, you can just turn, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing, getting stacked, 50-50 stacked. What I mean by that is when you land, ideally, like I said, heels are in the ground, you're almost 50-50 with your weight, and your knees, your hips, and your shoulders are all stacked on top of each other in this position. That stack is one of the first things in my in-person lessons that I clean up immediately. If that stack is off, and I'd say 95%, almost 100% of the time, when guys aren't stacked, they're leaning backwards this way. So their shoulders, their hips, and their knees are working back this way. When you lean like that, in your landing position, when you land leaning backwards, two things may happen. One, you may fire and work under the baseball, and two, you may spin up and across it that way, like behind you, which will destroy your direction, and all your energy is going behind you. In my lessons, I always say to my guys, force without direction is irrelevant, right? Pitcher standing in front of you, right? Pitch is coming towards you from the front, straight from center. If your direction and your momentum and your force is traveling behind you, off the plane of the pitch, it's irrelevant. And yes, you may run into a couple balls where the pitcher tries to sneak a ball in, and you may catch it in that tiny window that you may have and hit a ball 700 feet. 90% of the time, it's either going to end up foul or you're going to swing and miss. You're going to spin off it. So that's why that stacked position is so important, especially as a hitter. So that's the second thing. The third thing is the posture piece of it. I love talking about posture. I didn't learn this until way later in my career after my stint with the Nationals, which is crazy to think about that I didn't learn this stuff sooner. So what I mean by posture, right, in hitting, because obviously bad in real life, bad posture is there, good posture, shoulders back, chest tall. In hitting, if you are standing straight up and down, so if you're in your stance here and you land and you're straight up and down, that is considered to me bad posture, right? Because one, you're not loading your posterior chain, your hamstrings, and your glutes. You're loading your quads, which for hitting, if you're a quad dominant hitter, most of those guys like to spin, either jump forward or spin. Whereas if you're in this position, you're in your posterior chain, your butt, your glute, and your hamstring muscles, you're going to be more stable, and you're going to have more space on the inside part of the plate to work through the middle of the field. I've said before, I think in one of these videos, if you're back squatting, the first move shouldn't be knees forward, that'll destroy your knees. The first move should be a hip hinge back into this position, right? That way the load is going to your glutes and your hamstrings as opposed to your quad. So that's the first part of that. Second part, if you have bad posture here, when you fire, if you're upright like this, you're going to rotate to contact and then immediately come off the baseball. Whereas if you load and land in good posture with your hips back, your chest forward over the plate, now when you fire, you'll start to rotate through center field. Huge difference there. Just by that posture piece, tilting your chest forward and getting your butt back, that just automatically helps you work through the middle of the field. And an easy way to feel that is trying to hold your finish after you take your swing. If you're trying to hold your finish, then you can see where your orientation is with your spine. If you're just taking swings and you're coming off the ball, most likely those shoulders are getting a little level on your finish here and you're spinning off it. So try to hold them and see where you're at and make sure that you hold that position as you get through the baseball. So hopefully that cleans up some questions that you may have in your landing position. If that sounds like you and you're looking at your swing and you're thinking to yourself, man, my landing position doesn't look like that, or big leaguers, I'm kind of stacked, or excuse me, my stack's a little tilted, my knob's not to the catcher, whatever it may be, I'll probably do a follow-up to this of drills helping that position. So hopefully that helps. Like I said, drop in the comments down below if you like this video, if it helps you. Do you have any questions? If you have any comments? If you have any other suggestions, please drop down below. Like I said, follow me on Instagram at JadenFineBTB. Every day there's stuff posted there. If you're looking for a trainer, if you're looking for instruction for this fall and leading up to the winter and the spring season, shoot me a DM. We can talk about my online program where I got a bunch of dudes in there right now who are absolutely raking. And I can explain to you the hitter's trifecta, which has helped those guys a lot. It's pretty sick. So thank you for watching this. I appreciate it. Like this video, comment, share it. Let's do more doubles.